Ground-shattering news, everybody. Scouting alert, Alex Poatan Pereira is looking to enter the UFC. Yes, you heard that right. The two-division champion, kickboxing phenom who became famous after defeating Israel Adesanya twice, the only fighter to ever knock Stylebender out of all combat sports. He's currently the light heavyweight champion in Glory Kickboxing. He was stripped of his middleweight title for moving up and taking a rematch with Artem Vakitov, but after this title defense, he's looking to make his move and put a mark in the UFC, and there's no better timing. Looking at how the middleweight division is currently, not a lot of wrestlers, not a lot of grapplers. The majority of the division is dominated by strikers, and Poatan could not have asked for anything better. The best wrestler in the division is Derek Brunson, and he could even get close to taking down Israel Adesanya. Pound for pound, the middleweight division right now probably has the weakest wrestlers, and Poatan being regarded as one of the best strikers in the world regardless of the combat sport. He's also had 4 MMA fights, and his standard defense has not looked non-existent at least. Has a pretty good whizzer, uses his length and size to fight his way out of takedowns. He's also shown to have strong hips, very strong in the clinch as well. His elbow framing into knees has translated very well into MMA. He's extremely quick on the trigger to elbow frame, create some separation between him and his opponent so he can land those precise knees that he's been drilling in kickboxing for a long time. And honestly, the most surprising thing I see out of his takedown defense is his ability to pull his hips away at the mere notice that the takedown is coming. It usually takes a long time until a striker can develop that instinct. And a lot of things we just talked about are things that even Adesanya has shown to be very strong in as well. I think it stems from the fact that they're both 6'4", they're very long and tall for the division, they're both athletic, they're both very fast, and the kickboxing and Muay Thai background helps them a lot on triggering that elbow frame. It's gonna be about time to the point where he probably even reaches Adesanya's takedown defense level, combining with the exact same physical qualities that Izzy also possesses. They're exactly the same height with the exact same reach and the exact same body type. Him standing at 6'4.5", having an 80-inch reach, who currently trains at Teixeira MMA, so Glover Teixeira is training him, who's an amazing coach for Pereira. He's a great wrestler with a huge amount of experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and if you look at some of Pereira's training in BJJ, he's picking up pretty quickly. The length that he has and all that stuff is a great asset for him. It lets him get by some of the technical deficiencies that he might have right now. The length itself can cause a lot of issues for a lot of fighters, and this return to MMA might spell the end of Pereira's kickboxing career. I mean, he's not a young guy, 34 years old, but he's competing at the best of his abilities right now. He seems to be in his prime, currently on a 9-fight win streak, almost all finishes in kickboxing, most of them coming off a left hook. I mean, he has one of the scariest left hooks in all combat sports, regarded as having the best left hook in kickboxing, just straight up reaping fighters of their souls with that punch. It's going to be absolutely terrifying when he lands that touch of death on the top middleweights of the world. He's able to find the off switch on almost everybody he fights. He did it to Adesanya, he did it to most of his kickboxing opponents, and he's also done it to most of his MMA opponents so far. His power combined with his precision is absolutely outrageous. There's hardly anybody you can see in the sport who combines power with precision like Poatan does. He's sniping you with a grenade launcher. That's what it seems like. There's not going to be a lot of guys who's going to be able to strike with him. The style that he has in kickboxing has translated very well into MMA. Distance striking with great precision, which actually makes it a lot more difficult for his opponents to defend his strikes with 4-ounce gloves. While he himself, he can't guard the same way that he did in kickboxing. His footwork and head movement combined with his long reach, if he's able to make just a few adjustments on how he gets away from strikes in MMA, there's not going to be a lot of guys who are going to be able to touch him. And if fighters are able to swarm him, get him close to the cage, and start trading with him, brawling with him, he has that fight-changing power to end anybody in front of him in this weight class. And he's looking to chase to be regarded as one of the best combat sports athletes in the world. I mean, 2-division Glory Kickboxing champion, defended his middleweight title 5 times, currently on a 9-fight win streak. What he's looking to do is probably get into MMA and replicate what he did in kickboxing, become the middleweight champion, try to get the light heavyweight title, very similar to what Adesanya tried to do when he fought Jan Blachowicz. I think that's what Pereira is also looking to do as well, but you also know what the UFC is looking to do with Pereira signing. They're going to eventually try to line up that fight together. Adesanya versus Poatan for the 3rd time, this one in MMA. If Pereira can go out there and put up a highlight reel of just knockout victories over everybody, if he could do in MMA what he did in kickboxing, just put on a crazy highlight reel, he's going to be a big star very, very quickly. And then lining up Pereira with Adesanya after all of that, it has potential to be one of the biggest fights in UFC history. There's a great storyline, and stylistically, you couldn't ask for a better fight. It'll pretty much be their kickboxing fights at a higher level, with them being better than ever, and with 4-ounce gloves, which creates a lot more excitement and a higher probability for a finish. So great for the UFC looking to sign Alex Pereira. I mean, in my opinion, this is one of the greatest signees in UFC history, and people need to be speaking about this a lot more.